Hello, everyone. So recently I've been teaching myself how to program in Rust. And for a long time, everybody's been talking about Rust. You see a lot of videos on the internet about Rust and how it's the best language ever and the safest language ever. And I thought, well, at some point I'm going to have to at least look into this language a little bit more. So I actually started teaching myself how to do it. And I've actually released two crates on crates.io. So crates.io is like the Rust package manager, just like Python has pip. It's very similar to pip. So I want to talk about Rust a little bit, my experience as kind of a new user. But just to give you an idea of where I'm at with the language right now. So if any of you guys want to roast me because if any of my comments are wrong or I don't know what I'm doing and that's why I have a complaint, feel free to let me know. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, like and subscribe. I'd love to hear back from you. So, anyways, I've written two crates so far. One's called Engineering Units, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm actually pretty proud. I think it's coming out pretty good, and I might actually use this a little bit seriously. And the other one's kind of a meme. It's called Cat R. It's a fully functional copy of the normal cat command in Linux. And I use that as kind of my hello world introduction to Rust, which was kind of cool. But it's fully functional, and I actually stuffed it onto my Mac machine because the normal cat that comes on the Mac computers kind of annoy me. So I'm actually using my own version of cat, which is kind of cool. So, anyways, let me talk about Rust a little bit. So, if you're new to Rust and you've been a Python programmer for your whole life, Rust is a pretty different animal. You're going to be exposed to a lot of different things that you normally haven't been. So in Python, as you know, we can basically say this equals that. A equals 5, B equals the string hello. But in Rust, it's not like that at all. It's very much like C++. Every type has to be explicitly defined. And not only do types have to be explicitly defined, types that you might think are compatible with each other, that's still not enough. You have to almost explicitly convert everything. So for example, you can't take a integer of 32 bits and add it to a 16-bit integer. You have to explicitly make those kind of conversions. So it's very strict. Overall, I would say I think I would recommend people learn Rust so far. I really like the language, but if you've only programmed in Python, I would not recommend going to Rust yet. I would recommend starting with a language like C++. And a lot of people are probably cringing right now, or C, cringe. But the reason is a lot of the problems that Rust solves and a lot of the things that it does right, you really don't understand that unless you've experienced working with, let's say unsafe languages like C++. So for example, in C++, you can create what's called a pointer. So again, if you're coming from the world of Python, you would have never even worked with pointers before. But essentially, a pointer is we have an area in memory, and you probably know this, but just in case you don't, there's a chunk of memory that's allocated to something. Like let's say it's an int. Let's say it's an int 32, and we have a thing called a pointer that points to that memory. So the pointer is kind of like a variable that says, hey, let's call this our pointer variable. This points to this chunk of memory, and what happens in languages like C and C++ is the computer will do whatever you tell it. If you say, I want you to read this memory over here, or I want you to try to add this memory with that memory, it will do it. You can take any memory address on the computer essentially and try to work with them. And that causes problems if it's not supposed to be there. If it's not supposed to be the data you're supposed to mess with, if the data doesn't exist, it creates undefined behavior. So that's one of the biggest issues, and it also creates security flaws. So people will try to exploit that and read memory that they're not supposed to. So all those things are what's called kind of memory safety related issues. And what Rust does is Rust basically totally eliminates all of those problems. So they all go away, which is kind of cool. but it comes at a cost, and this is what I kind of want to get into with my Rust experience so far. It comes at the cost of, I feel like it makes you write a lot, in some cases, more code than I feel like I should have to. So let me start with the positives because I don't want to sound negative on Rust. First, let me start with the positives. So the positives are it's a safe language. It's type safe. It's very, very strict. So, for example, if I take my program that I wrote here, I can test it, and it's so strict that even things that I may have used, declared, and not used, the compiler is very, very strict. And for anything that could create a problem, it just will not compile your code. So if you tried to add an 8-bit integer with a 16-bit integer, it's just not going to even compile your code. Very strict, which is good from a performance perspective and security perspective. It's very annoying, though, when you're coding, to be honest. So if you're coming from Python and if you're kind of like me and you kind of like to throw things together first and start slapping parts on and taking parts off, this is not a language that can do that. You have to think through what you're going to create. Otherwise, the pieces don't come together right, and you start hacking it, and that's not what you want to do. You're going to fight the compiler. Versus Python, which is very friendly, and you want to add the number 1 to the letter A, no problem. But that's not going to happen in Rust. So it's good in the sense that the code that you do make is almost guaranteed to be correct, let's say, from a safety perspective. Not correct from a logic perspective. Of course, that's up to you. The next thing that I really, really like about Rust is the package manager. So I feel like in some ways Rust really learned a lot from Python. So in Rust, the package manager is called Cargo. So you can just type Cargo and it gives you some stuff. Cargo can be used to build your project, so you could say Cargo build. Cargo can be used to run your project, so Cargo run. That's some testing junk there. Cargo test. But you can also install packages with Cargo. And what I really, really, really like, and this is one of my favorite things of Rust probably so far, is the dependency management. So if I want to add a dependency to my project, I can jump on crates.io. I can grab this chunk of code here, this blip. So if I wanted to call a dependency on my own program that I wrote before, I could copy that, I could paste that in, and when I compile this, or the next time I run this, it's going to download that code and it's going to basically link all that stuff up for me. Compared with something like C++, where it's really a pain in the butt, to be quite frank. My opinion is they've done a fantastic job with package management and dependencies. I like that a lot. I also like the crates.io format. I like that I can go on here and I can search if I want to search for random number generator. I could type rand. And if I want to add this to my project, it's as simple as that. Pop that in under my dependencies in my YAML file. Good to go. So I love that. I think they've done a fantastic job with package management. Some other things that I like about the language, I think that the performance is very good. I'm not qualified to really say I've benchmarked it or anything like that, but it definitely runs fast. In my opinion, I've seen the benchmarks that other people have claim to do. They look great. So it's on par with a language like C++ or maybe even C. So that's good. So there's a lot of things that I like about it. I like that, of course, part of me also likes compiled languages. I think that I'm a little bit older, but when I have an application on my computer, I always feel better if it's a compiled program versus something that's interpreted like Python. Python's great for doing things like machine learning and little mini projects and utilities, but I like things that compile back to binary. So that's also another positive over Python. I'm just comparing this with Python, basically. There's obviously other compiled languages out there. You can see that this is a type @string. So you can think of this as a pointer to a static string that's stored on the stack. If I say let b equals string hello world, and I do .toString, which is kind of weird. I'm doing a string to a .toString. Now I have a different type. I have a string. So there's actually two different types of strings you can kind of think of it as. One is a heap allocated string object that can be manipulated, and these are useful for things that you don't know at compile time. And then there's things that are called these STRs, and you can kind of think of that as a pointer to a some data that's on the stack. So it's a little bit confusing. That doesn't bother me a real ton, and that's why I said if you go back to C++ and you learn about data and pointers, this concept might kind of make sense to you. I do think it's awkward though. I think it's awkward and it's a little bit not beginner friendly. And as you work with these two together, it can get a little bit annoying at times. So that's I guess one of my pet peeves. But here's my big pet peeve. So in Python, if we wanted to access, let's say, the ORL on this, it would be really easy. We could do something like B2, right? So for example, let's say I want to get that character. I might say let is how you create a variable, obviously. So let C equals B2. So you might think that's how you're going to do that, but that doesn't work. So one of the things that really, really drives me crazy. Now you can iterate over strings, but it doesn't work like in Python. It doesn't work like in most languages where you call this. So this is how you call an array. So if I create, or a vector, for example. So if I say let v equals vector of, like int or I32. Oh, I guess I got to do it this way here. So for example, this v I32, I could say that that's equal to like 1, 2, 3. Or I guess I got to do the vector macro. So I'm still learning my way here a little bit, guys. You can tell that. So the macros is a whole nother thing. I'm not sure how I feel about macros yet, which I won't even get into. But essentially, macros are kind of like meta programming. You create macros that then write code. I'm not really sure I love them yet, to be honest. So that's another thing that I'm not a huge fan of. But for example, I can do v1, and that'll pull out that number 2 here, and you can see it knows, okay, that's an int 32. But what's really frustrating to me is I can't do that with strings. It doesn't work. It's not a safe operation either. So one of the things that bugs me is the Rust community is like crazy about how safe Rust is, but there's a few things in Rust that I don't think are safe and can actually crash your code. And they're not things that I would say are rightfully so. Like there's some operations that are always going to be unsafe, let's say, right? But to me, string access is such a fundamental thing and such a common paradigm that I really don't like that this operation is not correct. Strangely, though, I can get a string slice doing this. See that? Now I got a string. So what you can do, and this is where I'm not a huge fan of this. What I can do is I can slice a string. So I've sliced it. But what I can't do is I can't access it as an index. I don't like that. So that's probably one of my big pet peeves. Another pet peeve that I kind of mentioned is macros. I think they're a little bit sloppy, but I'm going to also walk that back, and feel free to roast me in the comments. I might be wrong about that. I am still learning, and maybe the macros will grow on me later, but right now I feel like they're a little bit sloppy and they don't make me feel real comfortable yet, to be honest. And then I would say there's one other thing that I learned when I was programming this that really, really bothered me. Let's say I wanted to create a new function add, and I wanted to pass in 2 values. So let's say a, which is going to be an integer, and b, which is an integer. And this is how you say return, and I'm going to return an integer. So that's how you define a function. And then I would say a plus b. And this doesn't bother me a ton, but if you add a semicolon here, it's gonna give me an error. If I remove it, it's not. That's also weird. The last statement that doesn't have a semicolon becomes the return value. That's kind of the way it works. So, but that doesn't bother me a ton. But here's what really bothers me, guys. I want to have the capability to set a default value here without going through really complicated macros and structs and all that kind of goofy stuff. I would feel much happier if there was something like this. This is obviously invalid code. But I think the language would be infinitely improved if it had the ability to put in a default value for a parameter. Something like that, where you're still defining the type, you're still strictly defining a type, you're still strictly defining the number of them. But if I pass in a value, if I omit a value when I call this function, I want the ability to do this. So I would call add a is going to be 0, 0, or let's say 1, and just call it like that. And because b is not called, it goes to the default value, which has to match obviously the type that it's expecting. I think that this would make the language infinitely better. That's my personal opinion. Now, again, feel free to roast me in the comments if there's something I don't know, but I've done a lot of looking around and I cannot find a way to easily put default parameters and functions, and it really bothers me. So I think that's about it. So I guess if I would summarize, I would say that overall, I think I really like Rust overall. I'm probably going to use it a lot more. I'm not going to use it for everything because it's a lot more cumbersome to use. But what it does produce, it seems to produce excellent results. And I think it's the right tool for certain jobs, especially for things that you want to have extremely high performance and accuracy. Like if you're doing engineering calculations, this seems like a great language to do it in. There's a few things that bother me with it, but again, I'm still learning. But if you're new to programming, new-ish, and let's say you've basically just played with Python and maybe like a little bit of Java, I would not recommend jumping into Rust yet. You can, but I would avoid the people on the internet that tell you that C++ is the devil. Don't learn it. I would encourage you to learn like either a C or a C++, something that is quote unquote unsafe. And I would recommend you jumping into that, understanding how to write functions properly, and then appreciating what Rust is doing, and you'll actually produce excellent code. If you just come into Rust, it's going to be extremely frustrating. And the reason I say that is it's a lot easier to program in C++ than Rust if you don't know what you're doing. Because in Rust, the compiler is a absolute bear. If you may have any small issue at all, it doesn't even compile your code. It doesn't just give you warnings. It will not compile your code. And there are things that I spent maybe 20 minutes researching that I feel like on Python would have taken me a quarter of a second, and on C++ it would have taken me 10 seconds if I forgot a command. But on Rust, I had to really dig in and figure out why it wasn't working the way I thought it was. So I'm not saying anything bad about Rust. I think it's great once you start to learn it, but the learning curve is difficult. So so anyways, those are my thoughts on Rust, and feel free to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, your experience with learning Rust, and keep an eye on this project that I'm working on, this ENG units. I think it's going to come out pretty good when I'm done. It's going to be a pretty cool tool. So see you in the next video, guys. Have a great day.